Hi, I'm Lynda Hafner, top producing realtor at ERAP Realty in Central Mass. Today we are going to talk about the pros and cons of buying a new construction home as a buyer. So let's talk about the pros first, which I have written behind me. There's quite a few benefits of buying a new construction home as opposed to an already existing home that someone else has lived in. First of all, you know it's brand new. There's not going to be any maintenance. The roof isn't going to be old, the heating system isn't going to be old, everything's going to be brand new. That's huge. You don't have to worry about any expenses for at least probably 15-20 years, which is really awesome. Okay, so that's the number one, I would say, benefit of buying a new construction home. So a close second is being able to pick out a lot of the finishes, like the cabinets and the countertops and the flooring. Of course, this does depend on what stage of building that you purchase the new home at, but a lot of times this is the case, and it's awesome if you get the chance to do that. Third, no one has ever lived in this house. You are the first one to live in this house. Now, I have had the privilege of being able to do that. My father was actually a new construction builder, and we actually moved into 2 new construction homes. And I have to say, there is definitely something special about being the first person to ever live in a home and having it in that pristine condition. And sometimes these pros far outweigh the cons that we're going to talk about, but I do at least want to talk about them, because as awesome as these benefits and pros are, if you don't take it in consideration with what the negative cons are, you're not seeing the whole picture and you're going to be disappointed. So my goal is to prevent disappointment by educating you so you know and can make the best choice for yourself. So let's next talk about what the cons are. Whoops, I forgot. There's one more pro: energy efficiency. Today's building codes require extreme energy efficiency. So you're getting a very energy efficient, less expensive house to run and heat and everything else. So that is the very last benefit. And now we are going to head to the cons. So I changed the board behind me and I've listed out the cons so you can take a look. And I just want to go through them briefly and just explain them a little bit to you. First one, builders vary greatly. What they give you with the house you purchase varies greatly. Again, this is where having your own buyer agent to protect you when you're purchasing a new construction home is super important. A lot of times builders have a tendency, they want you to go directly through them so that they don't have to pay the commission. I would strongly advise not doing that, because yes, it saves them the commission. It saves you nothing. They may say it saves you money, but in my experience, it never does. The only one who benefits from that situation is the builder. So you having someone protect you, because there's a lot of hidden costs, there's a lot of different allowances that you need to be able to understand and interpret. And that's what we as buyer agents do for you. And we do that for you for free, but the builder has to pay the commission for that. That's the way it works, and that's the way sometimes they don't always want to have the realtor involved for that reason, because it saves them money. Where I am, the second thing is that the financing varies greatly. Now, where I am, there's not a lot of huge building models and things like that. It's more like a couple lots here and there that builders work on at a time. I don't know, it seems to be a little bit different in different parts of the US, but that's how it is here. So we don't have a lot of model homes that you can go in and take a look at and then pick and choose what you like. It's basically looking at plans. You can't always envision it in your head, and you need to find out from them what type of financing. Do they expect you to get a construction loan? in other words, do you have to purchase the land and then hire them to build it? Because in that type of a situation, you have to put a lot more money down. Or are they willing to take out the whole loan and then you purchase the home from them? These are a lot of things that you need to work out and talk about and find out, because you don't know whether or not you have enough cash to do it. So that's another example of having a buyer agent, find all this out for you so that you are prepared. The third thing I would most definitely list as a con is going over budget. I can tell you that I've been involved in many new construction homes, and I don't know if I have ever been involved in a new construction sale that did not go over budget because the buyer ended up choosing countertops or flooring that went over the allowances that the builder allows. And that's another thing that can get really tricky. Every builder has different allowances of what they're going to allow. How much will they give you to purchase the flooring and choose out the flooring? What is your budget for the cabinets? What is your budget for the countertops? These can get really tricky, and it seems all well and good until you actually go shopping and you realize that the budget they give you is not nearly as big as what you had envisioned, and you actually like something that costs significantly more. You really want it. It's a new house. You want to go with it, and you can get it, but of course you have to pay more. So I find a lot of buyers end up doing this. They really want those hardwood floors and they're willing to pay the extra money. And then there's others who are really disappointed that this is the situation. So I will tell you, it's so easy to go over budget, even just with lighting. I mean, some of the lights that are available in the packages, and that's why it's really good to make sure before you sign any contracts to know what those allowances are and to completely understand them. And if you go without having an agent helping you through this, you might get involved in a situation that you regret. So that is what I like to do for my people, is protect them, and I think most buyer agents will do that for you as well. Just educate you before you sign any contract so you know exactly what it is that you're getting into, is so that you don't get too far over budget. So the fourth item on the con list is most definitely that it requires patience on your part as a buyer, because building a home takes a good 4 to 8 months depending on any delays. And there's almost always delays. And the reason for that is because if one person in the chain of events, from the person, if the electrician gets tied up and he can't come, that means that, the plasterer can't come, or the painter can't do their job because the electrician didn't. So when one job is delayed for any reason, it delays every other thing, and everyone has different schedules. Everyone has multiple other jobs, and they have to fit it in when it works, and it gets complicated and things get delayed, as well as having inspectors come and inspect every little thing. If the inspector is tied up, and they can't come and inspect, that can cause a delay. There are delays in building almost 80% of the time, I would say. There are delays, possibly more. So if you go into it knowing that in advance, you won't get disappointed. But you have to understand that that is part of the game. We do our best to shoot for that closing date so that you can move when you want to move. But a lot of it is out of the builder's hands. He's relying on subcontractors to do the work for him. He's relying on inspectors to come and inspect the home. So delays and patience are needed. So the last thing that I would just add to this list of cons would be, hidden costs. There are hidden costs involved in building a home, but they're not hidden if you have a buyer agent who knows what questions to ask of the builder, knows how to read contracts, knows how to read documents. All of this can be prevented so that you are not shocked at the end, when you get to that closing date. And I think that's really what I want to point out to you is please try not to go it alone doing new construction. It's just so complicated, and there are so many more steps involved with new construction than there is with even buying a pre-existing home. So anyway, that's it. I mean, there are benefits, there are non-benefits, and pros and cons of both. You need to evaluate what works for you. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a great day. Thanks.